I'm in a classroom.
Mm-hmm. How old are you there?
I look about 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. What's happening there?
Well, there's a very stern teacher reprimanding me with a
Mm-hmm.
ruler. She slapped my knuckles with it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look of this time.
Mm-hmm. Notice what you look like.
I'm a boy.
Mm-hmm.
School shoes on. I have socks up to my knees. I have grey shorts, a white shirt. I'm kind of skinny.
Mm-hmm. What do they call you there?
Johnny,
Mm-hmm. Johnny, what has happened? Why did your teacher slap your knuckles?
I got the math sum wrong
Mm-hmm. You got the math wrong. Why is that?
because it doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. What does your teacher say?
How many times do I have to tell you or explain this to you?
Mm-hmm.
You're stupid.
How does that make you feel, Johnny, to hear those words? You're stupid.
Embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel stupid, Johnny?
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to the time in which you don't feel stupid. I'm going to count from 3 to 1. And I want you to go to a time in which you are not stupid. 3, 2, and 1. Be there now, Johnny.
I'm on the baseball field.
Mm-hmm. How old are you there?
8 or 9.
What's happening?
I'm playing baseball and I hit a really good ball.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm running. And I'm really fast.
Hear what the others are saying as you're running.
They're cheering me on. Go, Johnny, go.
Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel?
Excited. I just slid into the home base.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is jumping and coming running to me.
Mm-hmm. What do they say?
Well done. You're
Mm.
amazing.
How does that make you feel?
Really good.
Mm. Very good. So I want you to go ahead and find another time in which you were amazing in that lifetime. Go ahead and flow through the time. 3, 2, and 1. You're there now. What's happening?
I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm. What do you teach, Johnny?
English.
Mm-hmm.
I really care about my students.
Mm-hmm. And I want you to find one of those students in your class that doesn't understand what you're teaching.
The
Who is
entire
it?
class doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel?
I want to help them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to feel stupid.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do for them to understand?
I'm happy to take things very slowly. Everyone here struggles with something.
Mm-hmm. So I want you to remember, Johnny, that teacher that slapped your knuckles. What was she teaching you?
She showed me how to have compassion for others who aren't having it as easy as some might.
Mm-hmm. So at that time, were you truly stupid?
No, she was just judging me.
Mm-hmm. So that judgment, instead of using it to destroy the student, actually allowed him to grow up and be a better teacher.
Yeah.
Notice how you used her lesson, that pain. What would you like to tell that teacher now that you're a teacher?
Thank you for showing me that.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. So I want you to look now, Johnny, at the life of Jen, who is struggling now, trying to do things in her life. Yet she feels that she's not doing it right. She's lacking in confidence, not feeling good enough. What would you like to tell this aspect of you?
That it's just a voice that you don't have to pay attention to. That there's no truth behind it. You've only given it life. You've constantly fed it. And you don't have to feed it anymore.
Mm-hmm. So what advice would you like to give Jen so that she no longer feeds this voice?
That she is a child of God and that she lacks for nothing.
Mm-hmm. And how is that lifetime of yours, Johnny, affecting her?
Well, she flip-flops between feeling not good enough and then when she does something that moves others, she feeds off the reaction and it helps her to feel better about herself. But it isn't the best way to feel secure about yourself, basing your opinions from other people. It matters how she feels about herself from
Mm.
inside.
So I'd like for you to show her that. I want you to open up the door to the inside of her, to who she truly is.
There's a star inside her.
Mm-hmm. What can she do to access that star?
She needs to put her hands on her heart, take a few deep breaths, and use her imagination.
Mm-hmm.
That star has endless supply of love for herself.
Beautiful. So, Johnny, help her now. Let's put the hands on that heart now. And let's access that star. And tell me what happens when she connects.
When she opens that door, her entire body is bathed with a light that is not of this world. It's bathed with the ultimate source. And it is a source that is not just made for her, but every single person inside them has this star.
How can everyone else access this star within themselves?
They have to use their imagination.
Mm-hmm.
The imagination is what is the bridge to accessing infinite power within.
Mm-hmm. What happens when one doubts their imagination?
Well, the bridge starts to crumble
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't become sturdy enough for them to reach their star.
Mm-hmm. But some may say that bridge doesn't even exist. What do you say to those that don't even believe in the bridge?
Well, they are correct. You don't actually need anything to feel that which you truly are. But because you are human and you struggle with the polarity of being human, the imagination is a wonderful tool to help the mind find its true source.
Mm-hmm. It seems that Jen came here to channel. Is that true?
Indeed, it is,
Why is it that it has taken her so long to get her bearings?
because she has spent a lifetime doubting herself.
Mm-hmm.
It is the number one block for her.
Mm-hmm. And today we spent some time finding a few blocks. How do they look now?
Very good,
Mm-hmm.
very clear.
Very clear. So now moving forward, how will she be accessing this information?
It will be a stream of light funneling through her crown and filling her entire body. Every single cell will be lit up with the knowledge of the being that comes through, and she will have the choice whether to open the door or not.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like for you to go ahead and begin to tell her what she needs to do in order for her to remain clear, but set her boundaries at the same time. Give her a lesson in proper channeling etiquette now.
The very first thing that she needs to do is sit down with her intention. What are you looking to get out of this experience? Then she needs to let all those who are wishing, and there are many lining up, that they need her permission first before they are to enter. And she will no longer allow just anyone willing. That is very important. While she is channeling, she is to try her very best to relax. There is nothing to fear, for she has stated only the light to come in. She can relax and trust, knowing that her peace, that her messages of peace are only there to help others to find their own peace. There is nothing to fear. There is no darkness in this channel.
Wonderful. Who is channeling through her now?
I am a spirit guide.
Mm-hmm.
She has been working with me. My name is Vywamus.
What is it?
Vywamus.
Mm-hmm. How did you know her before? Did you make an agreement or a contract with her?
Yes, very much so.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about that?
Well, in your terms, it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we agreed that we would help each other this way. She would allow me to share messages of peace, and I would be able to use her instrument in order to do so. I am not a human. I've never been a human.
Mm-hmm. Have you lived together before in a different realm?
No,
No. So, why is it that she chose to be this channel at this time, in this lifetime?
because she loves to love.
Mm-hmm.
She is fed by love,
Mm-hmm.
as we all are.
But there are times in which she doesn't feel very loving. Anger comes up. Where is this fountain of anger coming from? Is this from her past?
Yes, it's from many, many stories that
Mm-hmm.
she has dragged along with her, like heavy suitcases
Mm-hmm.
that she insists on keeping attached to her.
So I'd like for you to show her all of these stories that she's dragging. Show her the ages, the lifetimes, and allow her to feel the weight of these stories. Why does she need these stories any longer?
Well, she needed the stories because she needed to experience in order to empathize with others.
Mm-hmm.
But she no longer needs the stories as part of her being.
Very good. Where are these stories attached to her?
Her back,
Mm-hmm. How many cords are there?
she has 6.
All right. Are you able to assist her now in disconnecting these cords? Is she willing?
Yes, she is very eager.
Very good. So I'd like for you to go ahead and assist her and tell me what it is that happens. How can she disconnect these cords?
Well, we have shared with her many times that she can use a golden pair of scissors.
Mm-hmm.
And I've explained to her that a golden pair of scissors means that you respect the lesson that you learned, but that you are willing to cut it off and let
Mm-hmm.
it go.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let me speak with Jen for a moment. Switch. Jen, take a look at all of these cords on your back. Are you ready and willing now to cut
Yes,
these cords? All right, go ahead and begin to cut these cords with the golden scissors. And I'd like for you to go ahead and say something about each one. Just like when we send somebody off, goodbye, what would you like to say to each one of these?
while I'm grabbing them all by one big braid, and I'm saying I'm grateful to you for showing me what you've shown me. I acknowledge the pain and the lessons, but I no longer want to carry you anymore. I'm tired of being held back by all of you. I just want to feel free and to love myself.
Wonderful. When you're ready, cut those cords and tell me what happens.
They've been cut
Mm-hmm.
and the suitcases are falling down a hole.
Mm-hmm. And being that that weight has now been taken off your back, let's put something on your back that will allow you to connect now easier. What would you like to put on your back instead? You can choose light, you could choose wings. What would you like to put on your back?
water.
Beautiful. Feel the soothing water. Very good. And now that that has been cut, let me speak with your guide once again. Switch. Guide, thank you for allowing her to do that. What other message do you have for her?
Well, first, that we are very proud of her and all her efforts to seek within and love herself just for who she is, and that we are very eager and excited to continue to work with her, and that she will grow magnificently. She is a tree of life, a magnificent tree of life. Right now, she is still not yet with branches and leaves, but we are helping her to grow, her trunk firm and steady. Its roots are reaching down deeper and deeper, and each time that she lets go of something and forgives herself, that she nourishes the tree to grow stronger and stronger and taller, and that she will, with her branches, reach out to others, and with her leaves, she will love others. She is a beacon of light.
Now, this beacon of light has doubted that she has channeled Jesus and Mother Mary. Can you tell her about that?
There is simply no reason to doubt. The human brain is not used near as much as its true potential. Every single human being has the ability to channel Jesus or Mother Mary or whomever your soul is called to. She indeed has channeled Jesus because she has a strong partnership with him.
Can you tell me about this partnership?
Jesus is teaching her about trust.
Does he do this in her sleep? When does he teach her?
No, he did this with her daughter, her daughter Penny.
Can you tell me why it is that Penny needed to leave this earthly plane so early on?
Well, that was Penny's path. It's always been her path. It had nothing to do with Genevieve. However, the consequence of love has everything to do with the mother.
Tell me about that. There are many mothers and fathers that lose their children, and it's very, very terrible, traumatic for a parent to go through. Why is it that we have to lose our children?
Human beings make the choice to lose children, to bring the world to a place, a closer place of love and unity. For each time a child dies, there are oceans of vibrations that come from every single human being that is touched by the child who has been lost. And these vibrations create the most magnificent and powerful ripple of love. And it doesn't just reach Earth, it spans universes. Because a child to everybody is an innocent and lovable being. We could explain it as And we don't mean to be insensitive, but to compare the life of a 90-year-old person who transitions to that of a 2.5-year-old child. Well, those around would say, 90 years old, he's lived a good long life. Yes, I'm sure the family will miss him or her, and there will be sadness. But when a young child has decided to offer themselves up for the greater good of the entire galaxies, there is nothing that matches that kind of love, that kind of vibration in sympathy. So to answer your question in short, it only creates love.
Very good. Thank you. In Jen's family, there have been children dying in each generation. Is this a coincidence?
No, it's not. The reason is that this family has an ancestral lineage of very brave warriors, and these warriors appear in all forms.
Mm-hmm.
These children are warriors, taking on for, again, the greater good of love.
Mm-hmm. So, if those ancestors are warriors, what does that make Jen?
She is a warrior.
Mm-hmm. This warrior's purpose, is it to be a channel?
She is to be a beacon of light.
Mm-hmm.
She is to
So,
show others
mm-hmm.
through her bravery and through the way that she has handled her own daughter's transition, that it does not have to be dictating the rest of your life. You do not have to be victimized by this. There is very much possibility for true joy, even when your own child transitions before you do.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, we need to set up something for Jen in the future in order for her to be able to channel. And she's wondered, what is the best way for her to connect so that she can have this freedom to express the full personalities of those coming through her.
It is simply her belief.
Mm.
If she decides and believes that this is the way it should be, it will be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And if she believes the stories that she cannot, or that she
Mm-hmm.
does not have that capability, it will be very difficult for all of us to flow through freely.
How many guides are working with Jen?
Well, she has very many guides, but she has 3 or 4
Mm-hmm. Does she
that,
know them?
yes,
These guides, are they all bringing forth different messages?
well, they all have their strong suits, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
She has a guide that she knows of named Oriel,
Mm-hmm.
and Oriel is almost as a gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Well, up until this point, she has been very fearful, and we had to create something in order for her to believe that she was safe.
Mm-hmm.
When one channels, you are not really needing protection from anything unless you believe it to be. If you are trusting that you are a channel of light, that is all you will be. But up until this point, she had very much doubt what was beyond. And so Oriel was her gatekeeper and still is until she decides that she no longer needs him.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Now, I know that there is no coincidence that she is having this session here today. Whose idea was it to bring her to this session so that you can channel through her?
Her daughter Penny.
Mm-hmm. Does Penny have anything to say today? Any message for her?
I always have messages for my mom.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Penny, for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. It's a pleasure. Can you tell me what it is that you need to express today?
Well, I'm just always here to prod her along. I'm not trying to force her to do anything that she doesn't want to do, but I know of her potential and I know what we have agreed upon. And so I just like to show her in a, I guess you could say, like breadcrumbs. I leave her breadcrumbs so
Mm-hmm.
that she can pick them up herself and not feel that she's been forced. But I like to lead her on a path. It's fun.
Penny, when you speak through her, what age do you show yourself as to her?
Well, to her, she's
Mm-hmm.
still seeing me as the little girl. But I always laugh at this because I'm nothing near a little girl.
Mm-hmm. If I were to uh, see you, how old would you show me to be yourself? How do you represent yourself as spirit?
Well, as spirit, I'm actually just this. If you were to see me with your energetic eyes, you
Yes.
would just see light.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take a form
Okay.
unless I have had an experience with you.
Mm-hmm. And would I see a little girl?
Yes, because you have been exposed to me
Mm.
that way.
So, how old would you be? Would you be 2.5 or would you be older?
For you, 2.5.
Okay, thank you. You're very eloquent for a 2.5-year-old little girl.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain is that my mom only knows me as that one part of me that is represented as a little girl. But
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more to me, and so we are still learning how to exchange that way, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Will you eventually grow up in her eyes?
It's really up to her. If she decides that that is something that she wants me to, or I use quotes when I say me, if that's what keeps me close with her, then she's fully entitled to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't need to see me that way. And I know that she knows that deep down, none of us really take a human form once we transition. So for her, I don't think she's going to need that. I think she will be okay as we channel together because I very much will be part of this channeling story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and not in an intrusive way, but I always like to show up first and then I like to close the session, sort of
Wonderful.
like to just let her know that everything's okay.
Wonderful. So you are kind of like the MC of the show.
Yeah,
You introduce the guides and then you close the show.
yeah, that's exactly right. That's the
Wonderful.
best way to
That's
put it.
great. So as the MC of this show today, Penny, who are we bringing forth to provide messages today?
Well, today she's already spoken with Vywamus, who
Mm.
is actually, she learned of him through a book that I helped her come across. And I knew that she needed his guidance when she was first starting to channel. Then, really, what's been remarkable is that she's been sitting with her mom, my, if you'd like to understand it that way, my grandma, and
Mm-hmm.
they have been, I guess, experimenting. And And that is all fun and fine and safe because she is a channel of light. So she could really bring forth anybody that came to her heart or mind.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So I know that you brought her for this session in order to expand this channel of light, open her up, and finally let her out. For all of those that channel also, what what messages do you give those that are beginning on their search for the best way to channel?
That they don't need to take it so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't say that. I understand the human condition. So I understand that there is this idea that channeling is just like, this sort of weird, not common thing to do or
Mm-hmm.
form of communication. But it's actually very, very possible for every single person to do this. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not something that has been part of the education system. And if it had, if children from a young age were taught about the pituitary gland and the pineal, if they were explained that there is a radio inside everybody's head that has a receiver, that you can actually talk with your friend who lives 5 houses down without actually opening your mouth or
Mm-hmm.
picking up the telephone, or nowadays on your computer you can communicate with your telepathic abilities.
Mm-hmm. So many people are always wanting to connect with their higher selves. What's the best way for one to connect with their higher selves?
Well, and it makes me giggle because your higher self is always willing. It's not
Mm,
as if that there's a door or there's something that you have to do, but the human just blocks themselves so much with the idea that they have to do something special to get there. No, just decide that this is what I want to do. Maybe you could sit down in a meditation practice. Well, I will say that not many people, more and more people are starting to meditate, but meditation is really the key, I would say. The number one thing, if you could sit down in meditation and really start to say to yourself, I believe I can access my higher self. There's nothing special I need to do. I just would like to talk with them, and I would like for them to share with me anything that they have for me that would be for my highest and greatest good. If they were to just sit there and listen, they would be marveled.
mm. And for those that have a connection, more of a connection, are they capable also of channeling those ascended masters and teachers?
You will have to repeat. I heard screaming little baby.
So allow her to go deeper when she hears the screaming babies.
Yes, I'm trying to tell her, don't worry, it's not a big deal.
That's right. So those that are channeling, that can access their higher selves, is it okay for them to channel the ascended masters and teachers? Is that as easy?
Yes, it
Mm-hmm.
really is. There's really not much. When you get past what the mind limits you, you open up to infinite possibility, and you are the one that creates your box.
Hmm.
So, if you want to access ascended masters and their wisdom, you are entirely allowed. Nobody is stopping you but yourself.
Mm-hmm. So look at her box now. Has this box been open?
It's, let's just say, the top is peeking up a little bit.
So how can we make that box open up even more?
Oh, this is something that I've been talking with her for a while.
Mm-hmm.
it's really your belief system.
Yes.
It really boils down to your beliefs. Let go of that which doesn't serve. So, I know that I'm making it sound easier than what it really is. Because again, the human condition, you have your mind, you have your ego, you have your stories, you have your traumas, your wounds, all of that I understand. But for just try for one, even just 1 minute of saying, okay, I believe in infinite possibilities. There is nothing, no one, not anything that is stopping me in this 1 minute. And in this 1 minute, I am opening up my mind, my heart, my soul, and I am just here to receive from whomever. You have to, of course, it's very important to say who you're wanting to hear from. But in that moment, you can just swing open that top and just sit there. And the more you do that, the more you will see, hey, I wasn't thinking that. That's not my imagination. And you will see the more you do that, the more you will start to experience.
Very good. So, Penny, let's begin with your mom now. She has heard what you have told her. So I want her to see that little box with that lid starting to open. And I want you to tell her those words so she'll repeat them. We're going to repeat them 3 times, kind of like doing Beetlejuice things. So let's begin now looking at that lid. And I want you to give her those words so she'll repeat them.
You are infinite potential. You are infinite potential. You are infinite potential.
What's happening with that lid?
It's blowing open.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's see what's inside of that. Look at all those infinite potentials in there. Take a peek inside.
It's galaxies.
Mmm, wonderful.
Yeah, because that's what's inside everybody. When you are realizing that you are pretty much I am, in the am is the galaxy of infinite potential. And so you get to decide what you want to experience.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Penny, I recently heard that inside each one of us, inside each one of our cells is a God code where there is infinite potential. That sounds like the galaxies that you're talking about.
Yep,
Mm-hmm. So, how is it that we create our realities with this infinite potential? How does that work?
it all goes back to your belief.
Mm-hmm.
Belief is not just the word. There's no real definition out there that defines its potential. So, believe that when you allow yourself all that is available to you, and the word all, I don't mean all that you know of, I mean all that is.
Mm-hmm.
When you believe that all there is available to you and is ready and waiting for you to decide, for you to pick out, for you to create, then, oh, talk about freedom.
So I want you to flood your mom's mind and her body with that, all that is freedom.
She's lighting up like a Christmas tree.
Very good. Is there a word or something that we can use for her to light up that Christmas tree in the future? Something to remind her of this.
Yes, she can say to herself, there are no boundaries but the ones you give yourself.
Wonderful. So let me speak with her now. Switch. Jen, I want you to repeat those words.
There are no boundaries but the ones I give myself.
Say it again.
There are no boundaries but the ones I give myself.
Say it one more time, and this time, feel it with every cell of your body.
There are no boundaries but the ones you give yourself.
Wonderful. Are you willing now to live by those words?
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Very good. So switch. Let me speak with Penny once again. Penny, how does she look now?
well, if she didn't have a body, well, she'd be floating.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So being that you begin and end her sessions, is there anything else you would like for her to experience today? Or do you feel that we are complete?
I feel that we are complete, but I don't know, I feel hesitation from her.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and find out what that is.
Well, when I first transitioned, Jesus was trying to explain to her something, and he wasn't really getting through to her because she was so, rightfully so, so deep down in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came in a dream to her mother, and it was a vision that her mother had where she thought Jesus was coming to her, but he walked right past her. And when her mother looked, she saw that Jesus was sitting with Genevieve.
Mm-hmm.
And
Does he have? Mm-hmm.
it's here where Jesus explained that she has a choice here. She can either take the pain, and he held out his one hand, or she could take the bread, and he held out his other hand. And he said, which are you going to take? She hesitated, and he said to her, do you trust me? And she said, yes. And she took the bread. And this is what has become. She has been blessed by my departure. It is far from anything sad. there are many more blessings to come if she continues to trust.
Mm-hmm.
Not in Jesus. Jesus was there and used as a symbol of light, of love, that if she chooses, and this is not me, Penny, getting upset, but I can feel Genevieve getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But if she chooses love over fear every single time, she will only witness more of those blessings that she has been promised. And I just felt that it was important to stress that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Now we are good.
Very good. 5, wide awake, completely alert, feeling wonderful all over. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, what a great
Oh
experience,
my
huh?
God. Talk about like, that's a lifetime of therapy. Wow.
How
Thank
long do you
you.
think it was? How long did it feel to you? Was it quick?
Mm, maybe like an hour.
Yeah, right now we're like an
Oh,
hour and 23 minutes. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
did it make sense
goodness.
to you? Did it make sense?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
I mean, oh my God. Yes, like I need to process, but I mean, I'm kind of speechless. There's so many nuggets there that just, like you said, like things will kind of show up that you weren't aware of. Like,
Yeah.
especially like opening up with my grandpa, like of all people that I'm not really, you know,
It
uh,
doesn't matter. It's what affected you. Way.
yeah.
So yeah, it was a really
Oh,
interesting session, wasn't it?
oh,
Not what
yes,
not
it
what you
was.
expected, huh?
No, I mean, like I was trying my best to just like not have any expectations. I didn't give it much thought, but like I
Yes.
was not expecting these stories, you know?
Well, that's what hypnosis is about the stories,
Oh
you
my
know?
God,
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. I don't usually show those stories online because they're very personal. You
Yeah,
see what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because they're about your childhood. Johnny was a past life. That was a little bit
Yeah,
different. But I don't show people's personal stories because that's none of anybody's business.
yeah, that makes sense.
So, Penny, did she come in stronger today or?
Yes. Well, I always, whenever she comes in, she's always very like, I just feel light and like this sweetness about her.
Yes.
But she was definitely way more chatty with you.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's because I'm not really chatting with her that much, in
Yeah.
channeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is this something you want to share with other people? Not the personal parts, but
Oh, yeah,
the
I'm happy to
channeling part?
share. Yeah, 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 for sure. If you think that Penny's words could help others, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, she did some work on you.
Oh, like seriously, this is what I mean. Like none of my therapy comes close to what just happened in that hour and 23. Like plus your therapy of what you were saying up front. Like this is gold. Like this is priceless.
Thank you.
Like
Thank you.
you are like what you do. We
But
need
what,
you.
but the thing is, what you do, people need too.
Yeah.
Nobody is better than
Yes.
anybody else. We all have
Yes.
gifts that we
Yes.
came here to shine our
Yes.
light in that way. And, moving forward, you're a great gift to the world. You'll be able to channel. This thing
Yes.
about putting your hands on your heart, how did that work, that door?
Yeah. The
So
star thing, like,
you were given a tool to use.
yeah.
In order for you to channel, you can now
Oh,
do that.
yeah. Oh, there's so much here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It was good. It was
It
really
was
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this guide of yours, I didn't even know how to say his name. What
Yeah,
was,
I
how do
know
you
him.
spell that?
It's Vywamus.
Wow. How do you say
Yeah.
that?
Vywamus.
Why?
Like violet.
Vi, Viwama. That's a
Vywamus.
hard
Yeah.
word to say.
Yeah. And I didn't, this is the thing. Like, I think that guides come, like, there are a few that stick with you for,
Yes.
you know,
Ever. Yeah.
yeah. But I feel like as I've entered this channeling journey, those that have been wanting to help are now here. Because I'm in some sort of training camp right now, um, and he is, or he or she, I don't know, um, has been doing things in my head when I sit to meditate and I say, okay, he'll say, I need some time. Do you have some time so that I can open up more? And things happen in my head that I can't explain. It's like, imagine like rubber bands, like, my eyes like get really tight and
Wow.
it's unbelievable what goes on. And then he'll say, I'm almost done, you know? And then he'll say, okay, I'm done. And then while he's doing that, I cannot open my eyes. Like I
Wow.
cannot even, it's unbelievable. So,
Wow.
so yeah. So when I say training, I'm in training. I'm not ready to go out into the world or anything, but
Are you ready to channel? Are you ready to offer this to other people?
so I want to offer it to other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes. It was my confidence that was saying no. But like, yes, I want to do this. Yes.
Good. So you'll be able to give me a contact information for me to
Oh,
please.
yes. That would be
Yeah.
lovely.
And
Yes.
then
Thank you.
people could contact you directly so that you can do some channeling because I'm sure
Yes.
tell everybody what kind of contacts, do you speak with deceased loved ones? What type of channeling do
Yeah,
you do?
so my heart feels that my channeling path is either bringing it through a spirit guide of yours, to provide guidance on any stuck issues or whatever, or to bring in a loved one that you are longing to have a connection with. So for me, the impetus to channel was seemingly to reunite with Penny, my daughter,
Yeah.
and once I realized that was possible, then it was like, oh, let's say hello to my grandma. Let's say hello to my grandpa. And then I was like, my mom was getting such healing out of this because she and her father had exchanges, and she was like, I haven't stopped thinking about it. Oh my God. And she was like, why don't you do this for other people? So
Hmm.
I said, I would love to, but then that
Yes.
confidence, but no, I'm
Hey,
doing
you
it.
had a lot of stuff stuck on your back,
Oh, and Alba, I have so much back pain.
but not
And
anymore. Look.
yeah, and I'm like, I'm speechless.
So do you recommend this experience to other people?
I want wholeheartedly, this is healing and across Zoom, and it doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't, what
Works
is meant
great.
to be happens here. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, are you going to be channeling in person or over Zoom?
Well, I don't know with the COVID business right now. I feel like
Mhm.
those people aren't probably comfortable with that. But Zoom, I have a Zoom. Yep,
Okay.
happy
So,
to do
tell
it.
everybody where you're located. Where in the world are you located?
So I am in Glen Ridge, New Jersey. It's very close to New York City for those who don't know. And I'm happy to channel over Zoom if that is
Wonderful.
what you're comfortable with.
Wonderful. Good. And if you want a session with me, all you have to do is go to my website, albaweinman.com. You have to sign up for the newsletter, which comes out whenever I have appointments. And when it comes out, you got to be real fast and click on those links because they go really, really quickly. And if you don't get a session, I invite you to connect with me on one of my events. I have gatherings, which are 8-hour workshops in which we do this. We do a lot of talking, as Jen and I were doing beforehand. We do talking, we do exercises, and I do group regressions. So it's a great thing to connect with. So thank you so much for being here today, Jen, and it was a great experience. And
Thank you, Alba.
I want to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for watching, and I hope I get to see you next time. Bye.